anyway. Walking down Bourbon Street like a tourist. But,
Just type in Dream Room, New Orleans.
Yep. Well, I was reading the history of New Orleans, and 426 Bourbon Street in the early 1900s was the first black undertaker worked out of there. So it was the first funeral parlor.
There was a curse on that spot.
Well, I saw the 426, and I called Billy and said, "Hey, what was the address for the mustache? 426." Like,
426.
Yeah.
Roger, and all those photos, the Rizzo's restaurant is in all of them. Rizzo's.
Yeah. That's I have a picture. It shows Rizzo's, and in the background it shows a dream room, and it shows snow at the time.
Snow.
Probably back in the, I guess, late 50s, early 60s. When that was taken.
We're talking about that funeral home that was there, or the undertaker. I always thought the mustache might have been a little bit haunted when we were there by ourselves late. Trying pictures would always never stay straight, and you'd always hear downs and stuff.
Yeah, it was haunted, all right, especially the upstairs sometimes.
We drank so much it scared the shit out of all of us.
Yeah. It was a haunted area. You guys remember Kurt Kaysen? Any of you?
Yeah.
He used to play it next door at the Clarity.
Yeah.
Kurt Kaysen and the Whaler Sisters. Anyway, he has you can find him on Facebook. He's bringing out some new music of his own that he's writing and everything. And he has some clips of music with he and the Kurt and the sisters from years ago. It's pretty cool. Fun to, I love the magic where you can go find people. And I've been in contact with him for quite a while now. I'm chatting with him.
Yeah.
It builds homes for rehabilitation areas. He and some other people, they rebuild these homes and sell them off real cheap to these people. They're really nice. That's his main thing right now. Lives in Texas. I forgot what little town he lives in, but he seems to be doing real good for himself. Because it's funny though, because we have images of people we haven't seen for years in our mind, and we see them now. That's we've all changed a little bit.
Yes, you think?
Just a bit.
Just a bit. But me, I still look the same.
Yeah.
I know we saw Murata last week. He still has handlebar mustache. Yeah.
Who's that?
John Murata was on last week.
Yeah, I tried to get on. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I could see everybody and hear the conversations, but I wasn't showing up. So I heard people talk about Cheyenne Frontier Days,
Right?
and everything, which I thought, gee, I was up there. I had to go up to Cheyenne Frontier Days and run it one year. That was pretty
Wow.
That was exciting, actually. Pretty crazy. I think I got most of the waiters out of Denver because I was living in New York at the time, and I had to. Joel told me to go up there and get it organized and everything. I said, okay, great. I got there early and got me a nice.
Is Joel coming on today?
Huh?
Is Joel coming on today, Tom?
I have no idea. You know, Joel's kind of, I get an email every once in a while. I'll write him back and I'll never hear back. So.
Yeah, I saw that the letter. He wrote back that one letter.
Yeah, he wrote that last week when during
rehab.
But I'm going to call him. I was keeping in contact with Joe and Ron Sater for a long time. And during my move, I just sort of lost that. I called Ron once since I've been here, and he's not doing very well. He had a bad fall, I think the winter before.
Here comes Mike Johnson.
And he slipped on ice outside and hurt his head real bad.
Ooh.
And so he's having trouble a little bit communicating at times. But he was still pretty cheerful at times. We talk about, the crazy times we had together.
Well, I send him an email every week, and every week now I've been putting the YouTube of our conversation on, and I noticed that there's like 30 people watching the YouTube. So
are they paying for this, or it's just free?
It's free.
This is showtime.
Hey, are you guys there? Am I live? Am I connected?
You are. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
No, I can't.
Hear you.
No,
Can't see
we
you.
can hear you.
Probably better if you can't see me.
Can you see us?
I can see you guys. So what am I doing wrong?
You got to click your camera on. Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
touch the screen at the bottom, there'll be an image of a camera. Touch that.
Yeah, it's never there.
Touch
Uh,
the screen,
You know,
just touch it.
everybody's wearing masks now, so I have a special mask.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Who
The Who Dat Nation.
Well, Mike, we
Yeah.
can't see you, but we can hear you, so just tell us what's going on.
Well, not a whole lot. Just haven't been feeling up to getting on the last couple of weeks. Feeling pretty good today, but just fighting a bunch of sinus crap and other things. Other than that,
Yeah.
everything's pretty
Mike,
good.
Mike, what are you looking at on your phone? What do you see on your phone right
I
now?
see Roger and not Roger. Hang on. I see Dottie and Barry.
Okay, if you just touch the screen anywhere, the buttons will show up on the bottom.
Yeah, but I don't see any camera button.
There's not a little camera button
There
with
you
a
go. You're coming in
There
now.
you go.
Oh, it's coming through now. You did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a thing down there that says start video, but it's not a camera. So I just started clicking on bullshit buttons to see what happened. And
Hit all the buttons. Something's
We
going to
see-
happen.
We see your eyes.
That's how we learn.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What
you push enough wrong buttons, you're going to hit one right once in a
We do see your
so often.
eyes.
We see your eyes. It looks like you got a hijab on, so all we can see is your eyes.
Hey,
All you can see is my eye.
now we
Now
see
we
your
see-
nose.
Nose.
Holy mackerel.
there's something.
That's what we said. Holy
you have-
mackerel.
Have a
What's that?
cover on your phone?
Mike, this is the best you've looked in years.
Really good one, Barry.
You're looking pretty good, Barry. Hi, Roger.
How you doing, Mike? Nice to talk to you.
I'm
There's
okay.
something blocking part of your camera. Maybe do you have a cover on your iPhone?
No.
No.
Oh, you know what? No, I don't. I don't know what's going on. The last couple of times I was on, you could see it completely. I don't know.
Okay. I just thought maybe there's something blocking part of your cameras on.
Could be.
No. Try something else.
That's the strangest I've ever seen.
Am I on there now?
Hmm.
No, you can hear us. That's what counts.
Yeah.
And you can see us. So.
Hey, Barry, how's that virus doing down in New Orleans? Is it coming back again?
It never went away, really.
Yeah, it's but we can't exclaim good news. You know?
You keep hearing all these different
According to the
stories. you know,
news,
the mayor's
according to the
doing
news,
this,
it's coming back pretty
doing
strong.
that.
Yeah, but Arizona, where Roger is, has it a lot.
Yeah, it's bad down here. Where my wife works at the hospital, it's they've taken away all selective surgeries. You can't do any surgeries now because they don't have room for them, and they don't want other people in there that could pick up the virus from people. So it's pretty nuts. And people down there the other day, it's really sad. They had one of their relatives passed away inside, and they couldn't get in. You know, no one else can get in. So they finally let 2 relatives in at a time, and then people were arguing who's going to go in and all that. It's pretty weird. It's a sad situation with that virus.
It is.
So everybody's just got to be safe and hang out at my house. Go to the grocery store.
Does your wife have to deal with any of the patients?
They're not on her floor right now, and she's very careful of that. In fact, is when they walk in the hospital, they get a new mask every day, and they take their temperature, or they can even go in. And this crap of people saying, "Oh, the caretakers won't get the virus," it's a bunch of bullshit.
Well, they do get it. They do get
They're
it.
getting it, and my wife.
The doctor in China discovered it, ended up dying from it.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
my wife has friends in Seattle who have actually died from it, which is real sad because she worked with them in her unit.
Yeah, my wife's sister has it. Well,
She
her
has it?
cousin, rather. Her sister's been exposed, and her cousin has it.
Yeah.
She's in her late
Roger, you know
60s.
who died from it? Eddie Davis. You remember Eddie Davis, the banjo player up in New York?
Yeah,
He died from it.
he did.
Yeah.
Shit, that's
So
terrible.
you remember Eddie Jones from Carnegie.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I met him. And he died not too long after COVID started hitting us.
Correct.
Wow,
Died about 2
he's
months
a hell of
ago.
a banjo player.
Yeah.
really good too. That's
Yeah,
bad.
nice guy.
Yeah, I just met him once, but I've heard him play several times. Yeah, yeah, it has no barriers. It attacked anybody. So that's what we all have to be safe.
Turn off screen.
What are you drinking there, Bill?
Coors Light.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
No Schlitz.
I couldn't find any clips.
So it's let's see, it's what time is it in New Orleans? It's what 4 o'clock?
Now it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. 4
Yeah,
o'clock.
it's almost happy hour. What the hell?
Now, do you know that when a mustache burned down and I went up to lead the band in New York, I was surprised because the beer they were serving was Schaefer beer.
Ugh.
They weren't serving Schlitz. It was Schaefer on tap
In New York.
in New York.
Well, that was
Wow.
probably because Schlitz started going down about the time the mustache went down, I think. And of course, with that was only what was it, clubs were open then? The New York club and what else?
Just New York and New Orleans. When I went up there, it was just New York.
Yeah, so they all that stuff was crazy because it used to be the beer companies would work with your father's mustache really big because we were the largest retailer of draft beer in the United States, the chain.
Right.
So you got all these perks, which is really nice. Sell so many kegs, you get a keg. You need cups, you get cups, whatever. And it went on and on. And then Budweiser always tried to get our account. One time we had a big meeting in New York with all the managers, and they wanted to take us out and wine and dine us. And we said, no, Schlitz is doing better. And even in New Orleans, we had a big meeting over at Antoine's, and Budweiser wanted to put that on and try to get our account. But I think then Schlitz started going down, I guess, around the time the mustaches started folding up. Okay. And the Schaefer's the local beer in New York, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. So, but those were the wheeling dealing days. Then the government stepped in. And, the beer companies can't do that for you guys. We're going, what the hell? More
Who could
freebies?
forget that Mardi Gras? Joel was in town, I remember, and we ran out of beer.
I was
That
bartending.
night we went through 48 kegs, and Joel said, get Schlitz on the phone. Said it's 11 o'clock Saturday night, the night before Mardi Gras. How are they going to get a truck down? He said, I don't care. And sure enough, they were rolling kegs down a crowded Bourbon Street. Yeah.
We had to go help. We had to go help bring them up. I remember.
Remember that? Yeah.
I made that call to Schlitz.
Is that right?
Yeah, I told him.
Joel was back there because I
No, he
remember
was
being back
playing
there
banjo.
mixing beer. We're
And I,
mixing canned beer with water.
Yeah, I was with
Beer
Neil
sir.
Coy, the owner of the Schlitz distributor there. And when I
Schlitz
called
Light.
him, I
Yeah,
said,
we did sell some.
Neil, we need beer, man. He said,
Where you at, Ira?
can't get down the street. I said, I'll
How
tell
you
you
guys
what.
doing?
I
You
don't
can either
recognize
get down the
the
street
beer.
Yeah, I
beer.
can't take it anymore.
or your kegs will be out on Bourbon Street. And they got the beer down there immediately.
Where's Murata? He's not here today, huh?
He's having a procedure, remember? He's
That's
having
right,
a
he said
hernia
that, yeah.
procedure today.
Yeah.
I see Mike Johnson's trying to.
Yeah, well, he's there.
For a little while.
I'm on. Can you hear me?
He's there.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I just can't figure out how to get the video on, which
Here comes
Probably.
Charlie.
probably better for you guys.
So, Ira, did you make a donation to Locks of Love or what?
Yeah, I should have. I should have. Boy, that's a pain in the neck.
You look pretty good.
It's not fun.
Did you do
Next, I'll get the
it?
haircut in about 3 months.
You can-
Oh, we lost Mike's video.
here
I
comes-
cut mine down last week
Whoa.
because long job.
Hello. Am I back on?
I look like the moss monster.
Yes, you are, Mike. We can see your eyeball.
Yeah, Mike.
Is it still
Hey,
only
oh,
my eye?
Moses.
Hello.
Hey, Sanders.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Mike, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Hey, Sandra, look at what I found. Look at what Emily found.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
And you thought I never even had a match.
I didn't think you had hair. I didn't know. That's good. That's good.
I think I'm in, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh,
Rick used to advertise on Bourbon Street that way.
It worked. Oh,
Yeah. I was wondering how he made his money.
Well, thank you.
hey, Sailor.
No, just trying to find it.
He had a lot
Hello.
of tricks.
Charlie, are you on?
I think so. I can't, I'm doing something wrong. I
See if
think.
there's a camera at the bottom of your screen
Can't see
with a
you.
line through it. Just touch on it.
Where's the
Just move
camera?
your
camera.
cursor down to the bottom, you'll see the camera.
There it is. There it is.
Is that it? Oh,
There it is. Somebody
how
found
am I,
Oh, it's almost came up.
Oh,
There
there
it
you
is.
go.
you see me? Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
see you.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi. How's everybody?
Good.
Hanging in, hanging in.
All right.
Sleeping in our little houses.
Yeah.
For the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saves a lot of money.
Roger, where do you live now? Are you in the Northwest?
Talking now about opening the schools.
Who,
I
me?
just moved down here from Seattle about a year ago down to Arizona, Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah, I lived in Tempe years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, a long
That's
time
nice
ago.
little town with a college town.
Roger, aren't you from Scottsdale?
Yes, I am. Yeah, we
There
I
was
like
some,
Scottsdale.
we
there's
like
some
it down there,
decent
actually.
jazz out there then, not so much now, but there's a big jazz festival, I think maybe in Chandler.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's in
yeah.
November.
Yeah, Scottsdale's nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
Arizona Classic Jazz Festival.
What else is coming in?
yeah, it's a
Our
cute little
jazz
town.
festival. Suncoast Jazz Festival's not going on this year.
We lost Charlie.
Oh,
You
Oh.
know,
that's
We
a
would-
Am I
good one.
back? Here I am.
Oh, there's Jim.
Jim,
Hi,
good
Gil.
to see you.
if we can do a small party, we'll do that, but it's too soon to plan anything. It's
Why,
been
we're-
very,
Joe.
very sad.
Joe,
Hey,
we're
Jim.
both in Florida. We're competing with Arizona, right, Roger?
What's that?
We're competing Florida and Arizona, see who can have the most COVID-19 cases.
You know, 2 days ago, they declared Scottsdale or Arizona, the state, is the worst place to live in the world to get the virus.
I think Florida's
Really?
catching up.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I think
And today Trump is coming to Miami, the hot spot.
it's it's so weird because for a long time it was one of the safest places to be.
Right.
But the stupid governor down here did, of course, all the wrong shit.
Oh, Roger, our governor's stupider than yours, right, Sean?
What was
Our
that?
governor's an idiot.
Walt Disney World's opening today or tomorrow, isn't it?
I think tomorrow, yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's another joke.
You know, if you want to get a jazz fest going again, play like it's a school.
Yeah.
It's a jazz school. Everybody come. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
no
right. A jazz school. Yeah, let's let the schools open up. It's okay.
School starts here in 4 weeks.
There's Chris Fenimore, he's trying to get on.
Yeah,
Oh,
He's coming.
he just got the audio. Chris, you can hear us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We can't see you yet, Chris.
Now we
Oh,
can.
There he is. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, Mike Johnson, what are you using, a phone?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like,
Yeah,
it's
I'm not- I'm not
It's like,
Well,
you're, it's like you're incognito.
yeah, really.
he has a
I don't
dial-up
know.
phone.
Witness
I've been trying
protection.
other times. I don't know why I'm not connecting video this time.
No, we got
Yeah,
you.
we see you.
There's something
Oh,
over
you
the
do?
camera,
Okay.
but it looks
I
like
can
you're
see your eyes.
Eyes, but not the rest of me.
I think it's
Oh,
a
which is
I'm
a
trying
good
to get
thing.
off
That's a
this.
good thing. Oh, there you go.
This is not working.
No, that's-
I've got to
Hear you.
say goodbye.
Charlie's a neck.
Hey,
Hey,
Charlie,
Jim.
you can't see us.
He's a neck.
Charlie, we see you and hear you fine. You can't see
Do
us.
you? I can't see everybody.
Oh, it's probably the view you got. There's a gallery view that'll get everybody.
Go on the top right corner.
You're
Maybe
probably
top left
seeing
corner.
who's talking.
I don't know.
But the top right corner, it'll say gallery view. And if you hit that, you'll see everybody in the little box. It's like the Brady Bunch.
Let's see.
The
Well,
Brady
might be
Bunch
able to-
plus 50 years,
Yeah.
60 years.
Oh,
Might be
well,
on the top left corner. Yeah.
I just,
Ours looked like that guy on Hollywood Squares, Paul Lynch.
Don't say that, he's dead.
60 is the new 30, so just be cool.
Urban Street still closed up, Barry.
There's nothing going on down there.
You talk to Fritzels?
No, it's boarded up.
Really?
Wow.
Boarded up. Nothing going on. Dottie and I drove down there a couple of times, and
Now, who ordered that, the mayor or the governor?
the main thing you see when you drive there that jumps out at you is all the parking spots. Parking spots all over the place.
Hey, Emily and I drove into Washington 2 days ago, and it was amazing. There was nobody out, no cars. It was just totally dead. Places boarded up. It's strange. It's a strange time.
Folks, I got to say so long. We have company, but I want to,
Charlie, you
I want
want
to get on. I want to pay my respects. I love you all.
stopping by.
Oh, thanks for coming on.
Stop by next week,
Take
Charlie.
care.
All right.
See you, Charlie.
All right.
Hi, Charlie. Morning from Mike Johnson.
Give our best to Marcia, Charlie, huh?
I certainly will, Gib. Thank you.
You bet.
Charlie.
And to Eileen.
You bet.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Charlie.
Well, that's great. Very good.
Mike
So
Johnson.
Barry, it's like a ghost town in the quarter?
Say the question again.
It's like a little ghost town in the French Quarter?
Like a ghost town, Roger. Believe me.
That's so
Wow.
weird.
Are there some people still selling beer drinks out to the street or something? Because they showed a shot the other day of tourists walking
A
down.
couple of weeks ago, they let some bars open up, and there were people selling drinks to walk in the street.
Right.
That's pretty much it. But you know, that wasn't a lot of people.
Right.
No music playing. No music playing
No.
anywhere.
No,
music.
no music at all. And
Wow.
it
Is
started-
Cafe Du Monde open?
I think they opened last week, but
They're open.
it's a
They're
deal
open, huh?
where
Wow.
they have more than half the tables closed.
Yeah. You can't get any closer than the powdered sugar can drift.
Oh, I'd kill for one of them now.
Oh.
That's so eerie and sad. Jeez.
It is.
It is. When Dottie and I drove down there a couple times, I mean, Sam, we went down there, the Muffalata place opened up, Central Grocery.
Central Grocery.
So we drove down there. We drove down to Decatur Street, and guess where we parked? Right in front
Right
of
in
Central
front.
Grocery. She hopped out, got the sandwich. In 2 minutes, we had the sandwich on the way home. Now, when does that happen ever? Never.
First of all, you can't drive down there, let alone park.
What happened to all the homeless kids that used to live in the quarter?
Nobody's there.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
There's nobody to panhandle.
Well, I got that. But what happened? You know, where'd they go? What are they eating?
Wherever they
I'll tell you-
panhandle.
I'll tell
I
you
guess.
what, apparently they've been doing some cleaning down there because the streets were the cleanest I've ever seen them. I mean, there's nobody throwing trash, but they've cleaned them.
Good.
Really?
Yeah.
Pat O'Brien's didn't open it, Barry.
What it's gonna be like when they open up Urban Street?
Hmm? What's the question?
Can you imagine what it's gonna be like when they open up Urban Street?
Well, they're talking about making the whole quarter a walking place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Thank you.
latest idea, making a whole quarter a walking mall.
Now, they can't do that.
Well, I
Too
don't
many
think
people-
you
you got
can either, Roger.
all these
That's not
people
what
live
they're
there.
saying.
How are you going to get to, people have to drive it in the quarter. Jesus, the people live there, the deliveries have to be brought in.
Yeah, the deliveries is the main thing to me, I'm thinking,
I
yeah.
mean, there, a lot of people still live in the quarter, so.
I think they should make it like Arizona. Everybody have their own golf cart.
Yeah, right. That's right. People drive, that's how people make their money here. They haul people around on a golf cart down in Old Town. And it's pretty interesting. And then they have those traveling bars, you know, you can sit in and everybody
yeah.
pedals and it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
bar in the middle and they travel all over the areas and have drinks every place. People get drunk.
Pretty neat.
Oh,
Sounds,
it's a real outdoorsy place when it's not so hot.
sounds
But,
great, Roger. Where do I sign?
what's that? Really?
Then they could put a banjo band on one of those and they could travel
Oh, I
around.
thought of that. Well, God, I got something to go on here. A couple banjo players roll around town.
I wonder what Key West is like now if they're open.
Is it? Yeah.
Is Key West open?
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so.
I
'Cause
can't picture them being closed, but Bourbon Street's closed.
Yeah, I think they're closed up because I have some friends. Well, Will Soto works down
Will
there,
Soto's there. He lives
and
there.
he does his. He had to stop doing his shows on the beach and everything. And
Did he?
It is their
Yeah.
slow time anyway. It's
yeah,
slow
so
down
I
there.
think most of it's closed down, according to the things he said on his Facebook. So yeah, I don't see why they would be open. Florida has enough issues.
Oh my
Boy.
God.
What's going on down there? Again,
But
Joan,
Disney
you're up in
World's opening.
Clearwater, right? Joan?
Hmm?
You're in Clearwater, right?
I'm in Clearwater. Yeah,
Are the beaches open there?
the beaches are open.
Here too.
You know,
Here
4th of
too.
July was just another crazy
Yes.
time. I understand all the hotels along the beach were chock full. I don't
Right.
know. I just don't know what's going on with people. It's nuts. I go down
Well,
to the
what
beach
happened
in the
here?
evening, and it's nice in the evening, but you know,
When they
pack
opened the
'em in.
beaches they opened the beaches in Naples, everybody was driving over from the East Coast to come in. They had to block the road. They didn't want them here.
God almighty.
Right, what a world. What a world.
Yeah, some of these people are going to be very surprised when they come down with this virus. You know, how'd I get it? How'd I get it?
Florida sure saved their ass when they kept Louisiana people from coming there. For Memorial Day.
Now you
Memorial
want
Day
to keep
weekend,
Florida
they
people out.
Memorial Day
Hey,
weekend.
Chris, you still doing any of your cooking shows?
From Louisiana, they were turning you away.
I am still planning on some, but we're trying to figure out a new way to do them rather than going into the studio right now.
Yeah.
So we're probably not going to do till September, and that's going to be some kind of hybrid. I don't know what it'll be, but we're still talking about them. That's a good start.
It's like the late night shows. Everybody's working out of their house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the same though. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's weird. No Saturday Night Live. That's done.
Yeah, they do that. And the 3 late night show hosts do things right out of their house. It's pretty funny because everybody's so casual, and the people they interview, they're interviewing from their house. Everybody just dressed real casual and sweats and acting silly.
Dave's got to turn on his audio.
It's sort of interesting to watch for a while. Everybody's getting stir crazy.
It is.
I think we've gotten stir crazy.
They don't like
Well,
that.
I'll tell you what, I got more entertainment last week with listening to Jeff and Murata.
Yeah.
That lasted me a month. That entertainment.
Really? It's good we only had an hour. We would have still been here. But it was funny.
When you all agree, huh?
Oh, Jeff is amazing.
Absolutely.
He's funny.
Murata was funny.
He's a funny guy. I'm sorry I missed him last week.
How can we tell Dave to turn on his audio?
Yeah, he's
David,
I've
turn
been
on your audio.
I've been texting his daughter too for a while there.
David.
Yeah,
Dave, turn your audio on.
David, turn audio on.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Now we can hear you.
You there?
Who's there?
Yeah. You got to move your lips.
Hello?
Hey,
Hey, David.
Dave.
Can you hear us?
There he is.
Can you wave?
I don't know if he can hear us.
Dave, wave at us.
You can hear us.
Hey, David.
Dave, can you hear us, David?
I don't think that's really Dave.
What's that thing on Johnson's?
I don't
It's a
think he can
cutout.
hear us.
You got
Oh,
two what?
If we all stuck our tongue out at David, maybe he'll get the message.
I'm sorry.
There you are.
Hey, did you fall asleep on us?
No,
You've
the
been
dogs
taking a nap.
wanted in the room, and I had to mess around with them.
Okay.
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 Yeah, you took a nap on us. Wow.
Hey, Barry, did you play your job yet? Your birthday party?
I played a wedding a couple of weeks ago. That was interesting.
You did a birthday party.
I did a birthday party? Yeah, I guess so.
I'm worried,
Look.
y'all. I'm
Help
worried.
him out. Help him
I
out.
had two gigs in the last 3 months. I can't remember them. Oh, shit.
Worn out, huh?
How old are you, Barry?
Yeah,
That was
67, man.
Oh, shit. You're a baby. Right, Mike?
A child.
Yeah, just a puppy.
So Joan, do you run a restaurant, coffee shop or something where you are?
Joan has a Wildflower Cafe.
Okay.
the cafe, huh?
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I'm in the office right now. I have to go pretty soon to lock up, but the cafe's doing okay. We have a little market and we sell everything we sell in the cafe in the market. So it's nice, cross merchandising, but people are very reluctant to come out right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Why don't we have
our
Barry come and play banjo weekends?
have to wear the
You'll have a lot
masks.
of people there.
Hmm?
You can have Barry come and play weekends with the banjo. You'll have a big crowd.
If I got out my banjo, they'd never bother to come in, but
And he won't remember it the next
People-
day anyway.
people are just being very careful, and it takes so much time to keep a place clean and neat. It's amazing, the new pressures on business, but we've got a lot of loyal customers, and, it's okay.
That's
We'll
good.
get through this one way or the other.
One way or the other, we'll get to it.
It won't last forever.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
If they keep doing what they're doing, it will.
Well,
There's a,
it very well may last forever, I'm afraid.
Yeah, if people don't smarten up.
We are never going to go back to the life we had 6 to 8 months ago.
no,
Nope.
never.
That's a
You're
sad
Never go back.
It's going to be sanitation and masks, and everybody's got to be very careful.
It's like the people in Japan didn't get the virus as bad, but they've been wearing masks for years there.
Exactly right.
It's
Exactly
no
right.
big deal to them.
Yeah, and Seattle is a big Asian population. And you see them all the time walk around. You go, oh, what are these people wearing a mask for, Well, now we understand.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
We learned the hard way. But they didn't get it as bad as we did. So hopefully we can.
The
Go
New
Our
Zealand-
governor here in
Yeah.
Florida said, people will do what they're supposed to do. This is when he began
Yeah,
to.
I heard that, Joan.
You know,
That's
it's
what
like,
that
what
idiot
planet
governor
is
of
he
ours
living
said.
on?
Yeah, but you
That's
guys
what
are having
stupid
a
DeSantis said.
convention in Jacksonville, aren't you? I mean, that's going to be pretty strange.
Mm.
I also heard they were
Yeah,
bringing in cruise
I
ships.
think they're talking about canceling that.
I heard they were bringing in two cruise ships because they didn't have enough hotel rooms.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Bring them in. That's good. Well, I just got notified last week that my trip that was planned for August 31st is canceled, so I'm happy. Get all my money back.
Yeah.
Good.
I wouldn't have gone anyway.
But seriously, wouldn't you like the Republican convention like on cruise ships offshore?
Yeah, we just leave them out there.
And then they
Send them
can't
off-
get back. They
Send
can't
them
get
out
off
to
the boat
sea
for
off
6
Key West or something like that.
Take them out to sea and pull the plugs.
Yeah.
Send them up to the North Atlantic, and maybe there'll be an iceberg.
Oh, God.
Hey, Mike, how are things in Aurora, Colorado?
Well, right now it's pretty hot. It's
Hot
cool
here,
for
too.
Roger, but hot for here. It's about 96, 97.
Wow.
And nice and
And
pleasant.
it's hot. It's hot for Colorado.
Roger would have to put the heat on.
Yeah, but what is the humidity?
Humidity, it's not bad here.
Yeah, okay.
It's not like
Yeah.
Seattle and New Orleans.
Yeah, try 96 degrees with 70% humidity.
Yeah.
It's supposed to hit 111 today.
Yeah.
111. That was in the shade, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've always lived in a hot climate in the South for years in Louisiana and Florida, and there's the high humidity that just knocked you out a lot. And when it's in the 90s here, it's pretty nice. It's not bad at all. But when it gets
Low
over
humidity.
100, when it gets over 105,
Yeah.
my pools get too warm to get in.
You have to wear foil in your underwear.
But the thing
Bill.
is,
Roger.
the monsoon hasn't come. They're supposed to have monsoon season come, and all this poured down.
Feels like
It didn't
They're
come.
getting it in the northeast monsoon, I think, this weekend.
Yes,
It's happening right now. The rain is coming down faster than it has since a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's that tropical storm that came up the coast. It arrived here just about when we started this call. And now it's getting dark out, and we're supposed to get 3 or 4 inches of rain, flash floods, and all that kind of thing.
Wow.
We're in the rainy season now. And we haven't been having that much rain, which is good. Used to rain every day.
I just checked the weather here in Metairie, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Feels like 106.
Really?
What it saying, right?
The audience is as cool as a cucumber.
What's
I'm
this?
glad I'm freaking inside.
What did they ever come up with? This feels like.
Very
it
cool.
used to be the temperature. Now it feels like.
The temperature is 93. Feels like 106.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
It's the humidity. I mean, your sweat doesn't have anywhere to go. It just runs down.
Yeah, they add the temperature with the humidity and figure out what it feels like.
But
Yeah.
it's interesting
Yeah.
here. The temperature and it feels like are the same
No humidity.
because there's no humidity.
We got 58% humidity.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's 105 here. It feels like 105.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Still pretty
Yeah,
hot.
I thought we'd be getting a lot more people each week on this call.
Jen sent me some new people to send it to, and I did, but
Yeah, I talked with Neil DeFeo this afternoon. He was going to call, but he had a business arrangement he had to attend. So we'll pick him up at some point.
yeah.
And the others I haven't talked to.
Doesn't he have a place in Florida in the Keys?
Yeah, he has a place near Sarasota, as I recall.
Sarasota,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's called
The
Siesta.
Keys
Yeah, he has a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
There,
Sarasota.
I played there. It's beautiful. You were there, huh, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so was I.
That was really something.
But you know what? I couldn't believe we're at that at his pool, right? And then there was like a gorgeous place there where we could change if we wanted to go swimming or whatever like that. I thought that was the house, and then he says, "No, that's the pool house."
Yeah.
The whole other house that was like 3 times bigger.
The guest house, the house we were at was a guest house.
Yes.
And then there was a vacant lot, beautifully landscaped. And then there was his house, and the guest house was 5,000 square feet, and the house he lives in is 10.
Yeah. It was
A
gorgeous.
private beach on the Gulf.
It was
That's
I
in
gorgeous.
told
Sarasota,
Dottie,
you
I
talking?
told my wife, I said, look around. We'll never be in a shack like this again.
Jeez.
Whose house was this?
Neil
Neil
DeFeo.
DeFeo.
Oh,
Remember that? We had a great jam session there that afternoon.
We did.
We did.
yeah, yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Ah,
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But I never forget, Chris, remember we were walking in. I think we came from Clearwater. We played Jones Festival.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were walking in. We're a bunch of ragtag musicians. They had these waiters with tuxedos serving us food and stuff like that. We didn't know how to act.
Did we
Yeah, it
ever?
was just like the old days.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really
Yeah.
oh, you're right.
Did
You
the
live
waiters
here
have
all year
little hats
round
on?
in Sarasota?
No, he's got a place.
Sarasota.
That's where he lives.
He's got a place here in Connecticut, and he's just come back from Florida to spend the rest of the summer here and into the fall.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
His kids live up here, so he's got the motivation to come back.
Great. Well, we enjoyed his hospitality.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
He's
he
the,
is.
he's the world's loudest trombone player. My God.
Yeah, Joe Terra used to say that. He used to like hold his ears when Neil started playing. Remember that, Barry?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I like Neil. He's a good guy.
Oh, he's a great guy. Terrific guy.
Somebody's
We
phone
were-
is ringing.
We were roomies the summer that we played down in Point Pleasant. We got a house that we were in Neptune, New Jersey, and we were like the
I
housekeeper.
know Neptune.
Yeah, they're like 16 women from New York had rented this place, and they used to come into the club in New York, and they said, would you think you would be willing to house sit our house? There's an apartment down in the bottom, and so that's what we did. We spent the summer. We were in the basement of a house filled with all of these ladies from New York.
That was tough duty.
It was tough. It was really tough. And we stayed for free, the two of us. So it was great. It was a wonderful
Earn
summer.
your keep.
Neptune's
He and I
right
bought
by, Neptune's by Bradley Beach and Belmar. I know Neptune well.
Yeah, it was a short hop. We bought a car. We bought a 1953 Chrysler Windsor Deluxe, and Neil didn't drive in those days, and so we bought it together. But I was the driver, and we would drive out to the club every night and then back and see what was happening.
You had a free apartment with 16 female roommates on the Jersey Shore, and
Yeah.
and on Cape Cod I had to sleep upstairs in a goddamn chicken coop. What is
Well,
Jesus.
Tim, were you at Cape in '65?
No, I opened it up in '62.
63, yeah, because I was up there in
I managed
65.
I managed it that year, and I had played. So.
Yeah, because I stayed in the chicken coop for a whole summer in the
Oh,
back.
yes.
And when I got
Must
up
have been
there,
memorable.
You took my room, did you? Oh, good.
I might have.
And Jones' kids took the room after that.
Yeah, we had to. Fred and I got up there at the same time together. We drove up there, and we had to paint the barn out there red because it's faded and everything. That was our first job, was to paint the barn. And then, of course, if you stayed there, you had to, for the summer, you had to sleep in the chicken coop in the back. And they had all these different rooms.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
each up their own little room. It was pretty.
What was the name of the two guys who used to do sort of construction and maintenance? Duggar
Duggar Moore.
Duggar and Ralph Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson too, yeah.
Yeah, and then Ralph Peterson started doing it, going to all the different clubs as we started to fixing them up a little bit. Yeah, he became a model, Ralph. And,
Really?
in New York, and he was very famous for a while. And one time, in one of my adventures down in Mexico, when I took one of my breaks, I was walking the beach. I looked down the beach. I saw this guy come. I thought, what's the white guy doing down the beach in Mexico? He's walking. The closer I got to him, it was Ralph Peters. And I just cracked up and said, Ralph, what the hell are you doing here? He says, I couldn't take it anymore in New York being a model. I had to get away. I said, what are you doing? He said, I made myself a big oven. I bake bread and sell it to people on the beach. And so I went to his little place where he would give me some bread, and we talked, and it was the funniest, oddest thing, that could happen to me. I thought, here I am meeting this friend of mine out of New York City, worked in the mustache, it was a model. Now we meet each other on a beach in Mexico.
Small world.
Oh, it's just one of those crazy things. You just shake your head. What the hell going on? It was a fun time. That's the last time I saw him. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to Duggar either. If he's still around or what.
I doubt it.
Yeah, he was.
His lifestyle was not conducive to longevity.
Oh, he was a heavy duty drinker and a hard partier, and he loved life. I tell you what, he was a fast bartender. He attended bar, and he took pride in making everything come out even. Number of liquor shots he poured, make sure the cash register rang out properly. And he was really good at it. And if you didn't order your drink right, you had to go to the back of the line. Start over. He was quite a character, though. He roamed around to several different clubs, mostly up in the New York area, and he was down in New Orleans. He and John Fairfield.
I remember him too, yeah. John Fairfield.
Yeah, he was another one of the maintenance guys that roamed around with Duggar, yeah. I don't know if John's still with us or not. I don't know. I haven't heard much about him over the years. The mustache created a magnet that created an unusual, interesting group of people with all these personalities that all of a sudden gelled together inside the mustache.
Oh yeah. Oh,
became
yeah.
this huge family. It's
Like Murata said last week, he says it's not ever going to happen again because it was too.
no, never,
No.
It
never.
is.
The other restaurants I've worked in and I helped open up, it was, you know, I was so spoiled working for the Mustang, working for Joel. Joel gave me a free ring a lot, let me do what I thought was to be done and just backed me up. And so I was sort of my own boss all the time, but his ideas, that's a good idea. Okay, go do it. So it was just a magical place. And when it all closed down, I went to do other restaurant jobs and I didn't do good at them. I just couldn't function for some reason inside of them. I was even the beverage director at the Royal Sonesta for a while, and such a hardcore corporate structure I was not used to. The only thing
I
that was
gotta say
interesting.
goodbye because I have to go close my doors.
Bye,
But
Joan.
Thanks for
Hi,
coming.
Joan.
Joan,
Nice seeing you, Joan.
good to
Friday.
see you all.
Great.
Joan.
Next week.
Yeah.
Bye, Joan.
Couldn't figure out how to close this down. Here we go.
Same link.
One of the interesting things about working at the Royal Sonesta when I was a beverage director, we had this room where Lario played. This guitar player. He played a lot of sing-along songs and stuff like that that everybody knew. But they hired these ladies in there and they had to look just right. And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, when you hire them, I want you to take them downstairs to the dressing room, have them put on this dress and look at him, have them walk, turn around. And they had to have this perfect look. And there was a low cut in the back, so it had to be just fine. It had to fit the little bottom just fine and everything. And if they fit, then you go ahead and hire them, Roger. I said, oh, okay. I thought, what the hell? But that was Archer Casbarian was a general manager then, years ago. He was quite a character also.
I think the Royal Sonesta is still open, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still going. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Open, yeah.
In fact, as my wife and I went down there, we stayed there for a while. And they put us up front. I said, no, I don't need to be on Bourbon Street. I want to sit back in the back part of the hotel. I've heard a lot of Bourbon Street. But, oh, yeah, it's a great hotel. They're doing very good. They've always done good.
Yeah, the hotels there must be hurting in
Oh,
the quarter.
the whole
Gotta be.
entertainment industry, anyone involved in entertainment and restaurants and shows and musicians and people in the back of the house, all the techs, all the roadies,
Theaters,
all these people are just dying. No work coming. They're getting some small bonuses sometimes from the government, but they're starting to cut that out. It's a shame. It's a billion-dollar industry setting. They're going just falling apart. And I mean, we love entertainment. We love going out in large crowds. We love celebrating. We like to be happy. You know, all that's taken away from us right now. It's not a lot of fun.
It's not.
I can only have so much fun in my house. I go, well, I got to drive somewhere. What the hell? I'll drive around for a while. It's a pretty.
I was recording about 50 or 60 live shows a year before all this mess, and I finally shot a couple of things last week. But it was social distancing, and that's why I cut off my beard because I had to wear a mask for about 6 hours. And I said, "Screw this!" It was just too much of a hassle. But
it's crazy when you go out. I mean, and
but social distancing. I mean, the parents and all were great. The people in the audience all wore masks, and the kids, showed up. And as soon as the show was over, they were out the back door.
Dottie and Barry's grandkids were in that show.
did
That's
you
right.
hear about that?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talking
That's
about
what-
wearing masks. There was this. Did you hear about this? A Starbucks store down in San Diego. This lady walked in without a mask on, and the guy who was at the cash register said, "Ma'am, you have to put a mask on." She says, "I don't have to wear a mask. I can do anything I want. It's a free country." She said, "Well, you can't come into our establishment without a mask on." And so then she started cussing at him, calling him all kinds.
I saw that.
Insulted him, everything. And then she took pictures of him and she posted it on her Facebook. Everybody said, "What is wrong with you?" And so one of the people said, "I'm going to start a tip jar for you." So on FundMe, he started a tip jar. People started putting money in it. He ended up with almost, I think, $60,000. And he
Did you
said,
hear
I
what
got
happened in
money to
the,
go to college now.
did you hear what happened at the Costco in Fort Myers? You must have seen that.
What's that?
No,
The Costco in Fort Myers?
Yeah.
Some old lady said to a kid, please put a mask on. And he went crazy. Somebody else was filming it. He started going after her. It was all over the internet.
He lost his job too.
He lost it. They fired him.
Yeah.
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 Some insurance guy or something. I don't know.
What an idiot.
I mean, it's so simple to put a mask on.
You just have to put a mask on and wash your hands. If we do that for a month, we'll knock it out.
You know, it's not that hard. I don't understand.
But while we're having this going, I just saw a news article about New Orleans that the Attorney General of the state said that the kids in schools shouldn't wear masks.
That's a good Attorney General.
Jeff Landry.
They shouldn't wear them?
No,
Why
should
should they not wear them? Did he say?
Jeff Landry is the Attorney General for the
Force them
state.
to do it.
Listen, guys, I have to run now. I have to go pick my wife up.
Bye, Roger.
Okay, Roger.
Bye, Roger.
Bye,
See you next week.
See you late, Roger. I'll send you a
I got back online with my good friend Tom. He gave me a tutoring lesson.
Roger,
work,
I like
Tom.
that buy-in shirt.
I'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Tom, what was the guy's reason for kids not wearing a mask in school?
I'll read it to you. We believe that mandating students to wear masks creates a situation that may cross the line on liberty and also may become a tremendous distraction with enforcement, Landry said in his letter, which is dated July 9th. And
Well, there is a problem with enforcement, but still.
Still, it's just being safe.
yeah.
And we lost Mike.
Well, the kids are probably not going to get it. It's going to be the teachers.
Yeah.
So
the kids
Jeff
are.
Landry is cut from the same cloth as the governor of Florida and the governor of Arizona. You know, anything that Trump happy, that's what he's going to do. You know?
yeah, that's what I see when I watch him.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. There's no way, at least in our school system here, that they can open because the kids are on top of each other. They're running through the hallways. It's not going to happen. Plus, I think a lot of teachers won't come back.
I know the teachers are concerned about it. It's been in the
Yeah, they
news.
should be.
They should be.
Well, the teachers are the risk group, and and kids are germ machines. Let's face
They're
it.
the carriers. Yeah.
They
teachers that are 55.
They will infest each other. They infest each other, and they infest everybody they come near. So education, whether it's university education or whether it's kindergarten, it's going to be a problem. And getting kids to wear masks, whether they're 20 years old or 5 years old, is an impossible job because they won't do it.
The kindergarten, first and second grade teachers, they get all the kids' diseases anyway because the kids come into school sneezing, coughing, but the parents send them. So those teachers get sick. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
It gets really interesting at the university level because
I substitute teach here. I'm not going back.
Because all of the teachers, not all, but a great many of the teachers at universities are older people. You know, they're in their 60s. That makes them in a risk group. So
60s makes them young.
60s are children.
Right, Rick?
If
they're 60, they're kids.
I got kids that are 60.
Children.
Tell the story.
But wearing the mask is so
Universities are
simple.
talking about staggering the times, like having the freshman for a couple months, and then it's going to be amazing to see how it happens. And then are you going to stay at home?
They can't work staggering the times.
And are you going to stay at home and spend, $50,000 to send your kids
So
to school?
you'll only infect 1,000 kids at a time instead of 2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what's going to happen? They're going to open, and it's going to be a disaster, and they're going to.
That's right. But they don't know that now. Look what happened over Memorial Day and July 4th. Now they're starting to creep up.
Yeah.
You think they'd learn by now?
But look at the Tulsa rally. They've had, 50 some odd people come up sick from it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think it was several hundred, wasn't it?
is it that many now?
I think
Could
so.
be.
But if the kids don't go to school, how are their parents going to go back to work?
They can't open the schools, at least not here. I don't know what it's like around the country, but they can't open them here. because they're county. So you got like 2,000 kids in the middle school I substituted. 2,000 kids.
2,000.
Yeah, because it's county, it's not city.
Yeah.
And they all eat breakfast and lunch for free.
Well, that's it. I've been doing some editing for the School Nutrition Association, and they're the people that work in the cafeterias. And a lot of them are still working because they're doing bag lunches and stuff because the kids don't get food at home. So a lot of kids, that's the only place they get food. So the school food people are putting out lunches, and they're raising money to do it. It's pretty sad to live in a country that your kids kids don't regularly eat.
Barry, any of your grandkids in school?
Yes, yeah, I was gonna comment on that. They're in parochial school here, and there is plans to open. Masks will be required for the third grade and up. So they got a plan. I haven't heard any more details, but they already know who their teachers are, and they're packing up and ready to start, I think, maybe the second week of August.
Really? Yeah, we start school here August 3rd for teachers, August 10th for students. I'm not going back.
That might last 1 week.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll see what happens. That's
exactly. Well, that's the sad part. We're going to see what happens. We know what's going to happen. It's got to happen.
We got. Well, I guess they're going to test it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be part of the test. I'm not going in. I'm going to take up the banjo, make some money.
There you go.
Paul Murata, he'll make you a star.
Yeah.
I'm going to play at Fritzl's.
Hey, does anybody have a photo of the building, the Harry Lip office?
What, in New York?
Yeah, you remember it was behind the club in New York, and it had a big sign that said Harry Lip.
Yeah, no, I don't have a picture of that, but I remember it very well because when we were in the office, we would hear them right through the wall.
Yeah, nobody has a picture of that. I guess
I don't think I have a picture of that.
He might have a shot of that.
Oh, John?
I don't have any pictures of it, no. I remember it very well because that was the entrance I came in because I lived down the block the other way. So I go through that office into the locker room where we kept our stuff.
Where'd you live, Jim?
I lived on Christopher Street.
Okay. Oh, okay. The stone wall, by the stone wall?
I live with about 2 blocks from about a block and a half from the stone wall.
Okay.
Right on the corner.
When I was there, Danny and I lived on Grove Street in Bleecker. Right by where Banjo Dan McCall lived. Right up there.
Banjo Dan. Oh, shit. Is that where he lived, Barry?
He lived on the corner of Bleecker and Grove, and Danny and I, if you go down Grove another half block.
Yeah, second floor. Second floor, the window was always open. You could always hear him.
Yeah.
Wow. Those were good days.
I lived on
Those were good days in New York.
I lived on the corner of Hudson and Christopher, which is.
I know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Barry,
Wow.
you remember Les Davies? Do you
Yeah.
ever keep track of him? Whatever happened to him? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
Did you go back to England or something? Or?
Well,
Probably.
you know what? Maybe David could help us out. I know that Les Muscat was the band leader. He was let go, and they brought in Les Davies. And I always thought that was odd because 2 English guys playing lead banjo, both named Les.
Les Muscat and Les Davies.
What's the coincidence of that? And Les Davies came in, and he lasted for, I would say, 6 months. And he was gone. I know he drank a lot. I know that.
Carried a pistol in his boot.
Yeah, he kept boot too, and he would have these really raunchy songs he'd play late at night. It's like when the crowd would dwindle down, you never could tell what he's going to play up there. You know,
he was something else.
Remember what happened to him, or what?
I've got no idea.
I did not know that Les Muscat got let go. I thought I didn't know why he wasn't there, but I didn't know y'all let him go.
Les Muscat?
I don't even remember him being let go.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
He's dead, of course.
Yeah.
Why'd you fire him, David?
I remember it all. I remember it. First, it was Neil Undersair was the band leader.
That's right.
And Fred and them went up there. I mean, Roger was part of it, you know. but Fred was the manager and said, look, we want you to be more showy.
More showy.
Yeah, showy.
Wow. Well, I never thought
And he
about it.
didn't change, so they let Neil go. And Neil always harbored a resentment because they had just adopted the kid. You know, and he was fired. So they let Neil go. They brought in Les Muscat. And Les Muscat was terrific. A terrific
Les was great.
player, and he really knew how to read the room. He really did. And I was just learning, so I was paying attention to what they were all doing. That's
His
how I
wife,
was
Babs.
learning. But Les Muscat didn't get on the microphone. He didn't have any segues verbally. He didn't know how to use the mic. He just played the banjo, and they didn't want that. As good as he was doing, the place was packed. They didn't want that to let him go, and they brought in Les Davies. And Les Davies was showier, but he was
He was a Tom Jones.
big time.
He was a Tom Jones of banjo player. He was,
Say what?
I said he was a Tom Jones of banjo players. He had
Yeah,
that curly hair and that British accent. But no, but Les Muscat, he played. I mean, you couldn't even see his hand move, and the way he would play the banjo.
And finally, Les Davies split after about 6 months, and that's when they brought in Mike Gentry.
Oh, okay. I know Babs is still around Jackson Square.
Is she?
Yeah, I saw her about a year or so ago down there. Yeah, several times. Of course, she's not there now, I'm sure, but she's still.
Jim, did you know any of those guys, Les Muscat or?
All of those guys came through New York to spend about 3 or 4 months learning the ropes. So I met them all. I met Neil and Les and the two Leses and all of those English guys. They came through. So I knew them from their stay in New York, and then they'd go off to someplace, usually New Orleans.
Did you know a guy, we're talking music here, but this might be here. Did you know a guy, Jim or Chris, from the Red Garter called Harry Higgins?
I've never met the man, but I know who he is, and I've heard him play.
Professor Harry Higgins.
But Professor Harry Higgins, he was one of Jack Dupin's
First guys.
biggest assets out there at the Red Garter in San Francisco.
Well, it was said to Mike Gentry and myself that he was the guy that the style we played at the Mustache and before that the Red Garter, and that style consists, of course, of medleys, key changes, and tempo changes. You know, that it is said, I don't know if it's true, that Harry Higgins, he's the guy that came up with those formulas. 2 C's and E flat. You know?
I've never heard that before, but it certainly sounds plausible.
Well, anyway, Mike Gentry and I were sitting in my back porch about 2 years ago. I said, and we were having the same discussion we're having right here. And I said, well, let's try to get him on the phone.
Oh, really?
So we called, and sure enough, he was living out in California. He's dead now, but we got him on the phone. And sure enough, he said, yeah, it was Jack DePen hired me. And he said, I remember Joel came around and played with us here at the Red Garter in San Francisco for about a month.
That's right.
And picked up all the stuff. Said, yeah, we came with our own style of crowd control music. You know? And that's what they did. That's what we played. And all of us, of course, each leader has his own style, but we do basically the same formula.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's that stuff that guy came up with.
I believe, as I say, it's certainly very plausible. If you listen to the first record made at the Red Garter, it features Jack and Harry Higgins and Lee Valencia. They play the banjos, and I forget. I think Jack's wife, whose name I can't remember, played piano, and that was about it. No washboard. I forget the tuba. And but if you listen to that record, and I assume that record from the Red Garter was probably the first time any of this stuff was recorded. So that is probably and what they played was, of course, everything we wound up doing as you described. So I imagine that Harry Higgins probably was one of the designers, if you will.
Yeah, the designers of the style.
Because he was certainly the better player of that crowd. I mean, he was certainly the lead musician in that bunch of people.
Right, right.
Jack,
He stayed on the phone with him. This right before he died. Mike and I were on the phone with him, and he stayed on the phone for an hour and a half talking old stories.
I'll bet that must have been fun.
Good.
It was great.
That was
We've got a recording of it. You know, we recorded the whole call.
Oh, wonderful. Good for you.
Yeah.
We'll dig it up sometime, Barry, and play part of it for everybody.
I will. I will.
Well, that'd be fun. Yeah, do that.
Okay, well, is everybody out of talk? Because it's.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to run too.
The thing
Yeah,
is, next week we'll have John Murata and Jeff back. It'll give us a break.
I hope so.
With those guys, man, that's quality entertainment, man.
John
That's some
Murata.
stories.
Fun
Jeff
lad.
Yeah,
is
some
great.
stories.
Jeff is great.
Yeah, Jeff is
Today.
fantastic.
Y'all take care. I'll talk to you
All right.
All right, we'll
next week.
see you next week.
Bye.
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 Have a good week.
Bye. Good to see
Bye.
you,
Next
Bonnie.
week.